Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Pastor Eric Brown with Daily Manna for your soul. Happy Friday to you. I pray the Lord is blessing you real good right now. Look, just want to bring you a word of encouragement, something to help you along your way. And today that word is take the limits off. What can I tell you today? We hear take the limits off, and I do understand that that's a needed thing, but sometimes it's just not that easy. Just not that easy to shrug off limitations that have been learned over time. Oh, can I tell you, when we are born with only two fears. We are born with the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Other than that, everything else is a learned thing. So we have learned fears. And when you learn fears, you also learn through experience to put limitations on yourself to help avoid those fears and avoid things happening to you that would be unsavory or unwanted. But I'm here to tell you that when you put limitations on yourself, you keep yourself from enjoying a life totally free. You keep yourself from enjoying all the things out here to experience. And we have to be careful of that. Can I tell you, just as much as limitations will hinder us in our natural lives, that also can carry over to our spiritual lives. There are things in the spirit that God wants to do, things that God wants to give you, places God wants to take you, and we limit ourselves because of fear, because of unbelief, or sometimes even disobedience. But I'm just here to encourage you today to take the limits off. And when you're taking those limits off, you're going to have to unlearn the limitations that you have imposed on yourself. I'm reminded of Peter over there in Luke chapter 5. Peter is a fisherman, and he is out there toiling and fishing, had been out there toiling and fishing, and he had caught nothing. So he had brought his boat in and had sat there and was cleaning his nets. And here comes Jesus. And Jesus begins to preach, but the crowd is great, and everybody is crowding him around the seashore, and everybody can't really hear him. So he asks Peter, "Can I use your boat?" And he gets in Peter's boat after Peter gives the okay, and he pushes off a little bit from the shore, and he preaches from the boat. And he began to preach to the multitude, and they gather around and they hear a word from Jesus, and people are blessed. And after all of this, Jesus is thankful and grateful that Peter let him use his boat. So Jesus wants to do something for Peter. Oh, can I tell you? Isn't it good when God just wants to do you a favor? And so Jesus just wants to do something for him. So what Jesus tells him is this: to go back out and fish again. And Peter looked at him and was like, "No, I've already done that and caught nothing. I toiled all night long." He said, "But Jesus said, go out and cast your nets again into the deep." And Peter, like, "No, everything I've learned says that it's better to fish at night or in the very early morning. Now it is noonday. The sun is high overhead. The fish are not biting. If they didn't bite last night and early this morning, they are surely not going to bite now." But Jesus asked him again, and Peter said, "I know you don't know anything about this. You're just a carpenter, but on your word, I will go out." Can I tell you? Peter had learned what it took to be a fisherman. He had learned also things that it took to catch fish. And therefore, because of what he had learned, he had put some limits on when he could fish and even where he could fish and what time he could fish. But because Jesus said so, Peter decided to take the limits off. He decided to go against what he had learned, the limitations that he had learned, and do just what the Lord said. And can I tell you, when Peter went back out there and he cast his net onto the other side as Jesus had commanded, guess what? Peter caught a great haul of fish. Or his nets were so full they were threatening to break. Or the nets were so full that it was almost too heavy to pull up. It was too great a catch of fish. Peter had to call the other boats that were out there with him to come and to take some of this load because it was so much. Can I tell you? At Jesus's word, Peter took the limits off. At Jesus's word, Peter took the limits that he had learned and went against what he had learned and did what Jesus said. Oh, somebody needs to get that today. I'm here to tell you today that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and He controls the whole world. God knows how to orchestrate things. God knows how to manifest things. God knows how to do miracles. God will move time, space, and place to bless us. But we got to be willing to go where He says go and do what He says do. Even if it goes against what we think we know, we got to learn to take the limits off, because when we take the limits off, eyes have not seen and ears have not heard all the great things that the Lord has prepared for them that love his appearance. Can I tell you, God is able to do above and beyond all we can think or ask, according to the power within. The power within is what he tells us. The power within is what he gives us as promises. The power within is listening to the Lord and obeying his word. The power within is to take the limits off and see what God will do. Oh, I'm encouraged for you today, because I just believe that when we begin to take the limits off, I just believe when we begin to unlearn those old limitations, those old traditions, those old things that were holding us back, just because we experienced something in our own strength doesn't mean that we'll have the same experience in God's strength. It is a difference when you let go and let God. So look, let go and let God. Take those limits off, unlearn those limitations, and you'll see the hand of God begin to move mightily in your life. Look, you have an awesome day. You be blessed of the Lord. Peace.